Good morning! Happy Friday! For those who are in the morning or those who are in the afternoon, it is midday here in Mushan on Friday. It's an absolutely beautiful day, but we're going through a bit of a cold snap. So while the sun is shining, while the sky looks really blue, it's actually a little bit cold. Usually what I find in Ireland and the UK, you get very similar weather to us. So when we're going through a cold snap, you're also going through a cold snap. So if you're joining me this morning, anyway, say hello. Who's here with me? I'd love to know who's here with me. I've just been listening to The Weekend, Save Your Tears for Another Day. So that kind of gets me in the mood. So there's a little tip for you right there. Before you go live, listen to some of your favorite music and it gets you kind of in the mood. It gets you in an upbeat mood so you're ready to engage with your audience. So here I am after listening to The Weekend in top form, looking forward to the weekend. And I'm here this morning to talk about 5 systems that you absolutely must have in place. Now, don't forget to let StreamYard know who you are. So just above this video, there is the option to let StreamYard know who you are. So please do that so I know who I'm talking to, because I've already got a good morning and I have no idea who it is. So if you're joining me here this morning, do say hello, say hi. Let me know what your comments are as I go through the 5 different systems, because maybe you have a different point of view and I love to hear different points of view. Also, I have a little freebie here for you this morning, so don't worry too much about taking notes. Everything that I'm talking about, I'm going to allow you to download in a free checklist afterwards. So don't worry at all about taking notes. Just comment, get involved, ask your questions. And Friday morning, these sessions on Friday morning are also all about just relaxing, enjoying yourself, enjoying the community, and feeling supported after a long week of work. Now, this week was kind of particularly long for me because the kids were off school. So I was homeschooling and I was also working. And I've just gone live and my younger one is in already. Come and say hello, Joe. Come and say hello to everyone. This is my lovely boy, Joe. What are you looking for? Don't have any. I'll catch you later, darling. I'm just going to be 40 minutes and then I'll be with you, okay?
Did Daniela just go shopping?
Yeah, you can go and ask her. Close the door, good boy. Sorry, he's just been scooted off out the door now. Breda is saying, oh my God, your hair is gorgeous. It's gotten a bit longer, Breda. My hair grows really quickly. So all I did was I got the straightening iron this morning and put a few curls at the back of it. So I'm liking it too, Breda. So this may be my new style for a while. It's actually a really easy style. So the top of it's just straight and pulled back, and then I just did a few curls at the side because my hair is actually naturally quite wavy, so it holds the curl quite well. This side actually did better than the other side, but who knows why one side does better than the other side. Okay, so let me get straight into what I want to talk about this morning. Now, you may think that what I'm talking about this morning is too simple. It's too simple to consider. And maybe you're thinking, well, I have all these systems in place already. But the question is, even though you have these systems in place already, are they working? So you have to keep asking yourself, as I'm going through these different systems, they don't cost anything per se, but they're really important. Now, what I see is people spend loads of money on their website. They spend loads of money on branding. They spend loads of money on, templates for looking good on Instagram and Facebook and all the rest of it. But if you don't have the basic systems in place, all of it's a bit of a waste of time and a bit of waste of money. So I'm going to go through these 5 systems. You may not be ultra shocked, but what I want you to do is I want you to look a little bit deeper and ask yourself, is this system really working for me, or do I need to tweak it? Sometimes a big major change is not required. Maybe it's just a small little tweak that you need to make to these systems to make them work for you. Okay. So let's get straight to it. And as I said, don't worry too much about, taking notes or anything like that. I am going to give it all to you in a checklist, so that you have the option to download it and go through it in more detail yourself. Rather than worrying about taking notes. So the first thing I have written down here is an emailing system. Now, you may think this is too simple to consider, or maybe you feel like, well, I have an email system already. Now, the reason that your email system is so important is because it is really the only list of contacts that you own. All of your contacts on Facebook, all of your contacts on Instagram, or all of your contacts on LinkedIn are owned by the platforms. They're not actually owned by you. So if one of those platforms go down in the morning, how do you reach your clients? So that's why, very simply, your email list is so important, because if the whole internet goes down in the morning, or Facebook goes down in the morning, which it could totally do, you still have access to people who know you, who like you, who trust you, who will buy from you longer term. So your email list is one of the things that's really important. And you need to be nurturing and taking care of the people on your email list all the time. So it's not about just going to them when you want them to buy something from you. You also want to be, giving them useful information, letting them know about events that you have, keeping them up to date with whatever your thing is, whether it's color or style or fashion or whatever. So nurturing them, but also making them offers to show them how you can help them get the results that they're looking for. So your email list is very powerful, and you need to be growing your email list all the time, not just with anyone, but with people who are your ideal client, people who specifically want what you have to offer. So it's not about, creating a freebie, creating an ad and running the ad and getting loads of people onto your mailing list. They have to be people that are your people, and that are people that want to buy something from you, that want information from you, that they're people that you can actually help. So buying email lists and things like that rarely works, because unless the client has, or the potential client has a vested interest in what you're offering, it's of no value to you. And while for many mailing system, the first 500 or 1,000 contacts are free of charge, after that you have to start paying for a mailing system. So there's many email systems that you can use that are free up to the first 500 or 1,000 contacts, like MailChimp, MailerLite, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit. There are so many mailing systems that are free of charge that you can start growing your mailing list from today, and then contacting them routinely, at least once a week, I would say. And not to neglect them or just leave them there until you have something to offer. The idea is that you're nurturing them all the time, so that when you do have something to offer, you have built an audience, you have built a group of people that are interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so that's number one. Who else is joining me here this morning? I don't have many comments here, so I'm just wondering if there is anyone actually joining me, or if I'm here on my own. Now, I am on StreamYard, so it's a little bit harder to see. So I'm just going in here to my group and just making sure that I'm actually live in the group. I'm live in the right place. Yes, I'm live in here. And I'm seeing more comments here for some reason. So Ilham is here. Hi, Ilham. Great to see you. Lucy is here. Brilliant to see you. If you're joining me here live, say hello to me. I love to chat back and forth. It makes it flow a little bit easier rather than me just preaching here on my live. Okay, so does everyone have an emailing system in place? I presume that you have. Are you contacting your email list on a routine basis? And are you growing that list with lots of ideal clients that absolutely want what you have? Number two, a system to take payment. Now, this always surprises me, but many people don't have a proper payment system. Like bank transfers will not really cut it in this day and age. You need a system where you can take an instant payment. Because many is the sale that's been lost, when you don't have a reliable payment system in place. So I use Stripe. It's very, very straightforward. So there's no cost to setting it up. There is a cost per transaction. So you would need to look into that. But it's really, really important that you have the option to take payment as soon as somebody books, because at that point they're excited, they want what you have to offer, and they're willing to hand over their cash. But in 2 days' time or 3 days' time, they may not be as willing. So maybe the washing machine breaks down, maybe something happens, something that will take that money that could have gone into a service that you could have provided where you could have helped them. So somebody asked here who hasn't let me know who they are, is there a monthly cost with Stripe? There's no monthly cost, but as far as I'm aware, but there is a transactional cost. Now, this may vary depending on the country that you're in, but for my account here in France, there is no yearly fee, there is no monthly fee, it's just a transaction cost. Yes, that's what I mean by transaction cost, Breda. They take a percentage, absolutely. So it's worth comparing other payment systems and seeing, what do you get the best margin on. But I remember at the time that I compared it, Stripe was a much better option than lots of the other options out there. And Stripe will accept the majority of the cards around the world, which again is really important. PayPal is a good option as well. I just don't use PayPal. Okay, so number three, a client booking system. Again, oftentimes the sale is lost with the back and forth of someone expresses an interest in, say, for instance, getting their colors done. And you go back to them and say, what time suits you or what day suits you. They come back to you and they say, what date suits you? And then you send some dates to them and they decide that none of those dates work. And then they send dates back to you and then you have to get back to them. Ridiculous. In this day and age, it's absolutely not necessary to do that. There are free booking systems available like Calendly, like Acuity. Get yourself set up on one of them and put in your available times so they can book in immediately, like absolutely immediately once they want to make a booking. Again, you will lose many people going back and forth. And these all may seem like small things, but unless you have these systems in place, you will lose clients. And every client is valuable and every client is potentially a lifelong client. Every potential client or every client is potentially a referral. So you can't be losing clients. Somebody here is saying Acuity is amazing. I love it and it's free. Absolutely. Now, what I suggest around the client booking system as well is that you also maybe consider the pro version or the premium version of your booking system, because you can typically take payment at the point of booking as well if you have the premium. And that again it's really important to get that payment in. How many people have cancelled on you because they haven't paid? But once people have paid you, they are much more likely to follow through, to take the appointment, to turn up when they're supposed to. But if you haven't taken payment up front, the chances are you will lose the sale. So not alone to have a free booking system, but also to have the option of getting the client to pay during the booking process. So I see a lot of the things that I book and that I pay for now, they require me to pay before I can even book in a time. So I don't even see the times that are available until I've actually paid. Really, it makes a big difference in terms of getting the money in the door and into the bank. And having a reliable system that does that makes all the difference. And it's completely automated. You don't even have to do anything. So I loved Acuity for this because it also gave me the option to send a form to my client during part of the booking process. So I can ask them for everything that I need, either for the color or the style or the wardrobe or whatever I'm doing. And all that then is saved under my client. So on the morning of the consult, I can just go in there, I can see their form, I can see everything they've paid, I can check on anything at any time. And Acuity will give me, a weekly schedule of my clients, who's booked in, who's paid, etc., etc. So I think the client booking system is an absolute must. And it's one of the things that you should have in place once you're starting to get regular clients. Actually, you're much more likely to get regular clients once you have a booking system in place because it's automated. It's like instant. So there's no back and forth. Oftentimes with the back and forth, it's lost in translation. People get cold. They don't want what you have. Something else comes up. So having the option to have everything booked in up front is absolutely a necessity. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, just before I move on to the client booking system, Stripe does integrate with most of the client booking systems. So when you're considering a payment system, make sure that it's kind of one that will integrate with other systems as well. So for instance, my Stripe account, it integrates with my website, it integrates with my mailing system, it integrates with my booking system, it integrates with landing pages that I use. So a system that integrates with other common software that you use is a good idea. Okay, number 4, a lead generation system. So oftentimes people don't even know what a lead generation system is. Well, basically a lead generation system is a way to get people in to know about your services, to get them to the point where they are ready to buy from you. So that's my definition of a lead generation system. It's taking people who don't know you from Adam, the completely cold audience, to people who know you, they like you, they know that, you're going to follow through in what you say you're going to give them. So that is a lead generation. It's taking people from cold to warm is the best way I would describe it. Now, people do this in a number of different ways. The simplest way, if you're starting out, or even if you're not starting out, is to have a simple lead magnet or a freebie that you offer to your ideal client. They take you up on that. They give you their email because you have given them this freebie, and they're willing to give you their email in exchange. And then you nurture these people through your email list. So this will grow your email list, and it will bring in people that are interested in what you have to offer. And you can do this all free of charge. You can create a lead magnet on Google Docs, and just have people give you their email address through your mailing system, and then you basically have people coming in that are interested in what you have to offer. And at that point, then you allow them to get to know you. You give them, training. You give them information, And you bring them through your system, what I call your lead generation system. You can do it in a group, you can do it in a challenge, you can do it in funnels. There are many, many different ways to take people who don't know you to people who actually know you by turning up regularly, by doing what I'm doing here this morning. That is a way of allowing you to see who I am, how I work, and what I provide. So a lead generation, have you got a formal lead generation system in place, or is it just this kind of haphazard thing? It's not actually thought out. So you need a way to kind of think through, what is my lead generation system? How am I taking people who don't know me at all to people who know me, who trust me, and who will buy from me? So that's number 4. Number 5 is a system to continually add new potential clients. Really, really important. Otherwise, you're preaching to the same audience over and over and over again. And they get jaded over time. They stop engaging. They move on. So you need to be continually adding new potential clients into your system. So how are you doing this? You can do this in a number of different ways. You can do it by doing lives on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You can do it by joining groups where your ideal client are. You can comment on the posts of your ideal client. There are many ways to start bringing potential clients into your network and then taking them through your lead generation system. Now, one of the most important things when you're bringing new clients on board are clients that actually you can help and that are your ideal client. Lots of people say to me, where can I find these ideal clients? Tell me where I'll find them. And I'm here, well, who are they? And that's where most personal stylists get stuck. They tell me, well, my ideal client is a businesswoman. And I'm here, well, or she's a professional woman, or she's a corporate woman. Loads and loads and loads of personal stylists tell me that. And I'm here, well, that is not really a definition of an ideal client. You need something much more specific than that to know where these ideal clients are. So casting your net really wide and trying to appeal to every single professional woman out there, or every single corporate woman out there, the chances are you're not really going to get their attention, because practically every personal stylist on the internet is trying to get professional women, or that's the pitch that I see happening out there. So you're competing in an ocean of other personal stylists who are trying to pitch to this professional woman. So one of the first things that you have to do, if you haven't done it already, is to figure out who your ideal client is. And that is one of my specialties. That is how I can help you. I can help you to figure out who your ideal client is. Now, I know many of you who are watching me this morning have actually been through my Ideal Client Challenge. I am running this challenge again starting on the 3rd of May. So if you keep an eye out, actually, if you download the freebie that I'm putting up here this morning, you will be taken to the page where you can actually join the Ideal Client Challenge, which I'm running on the 3rd of May. Now, this is my 8th time. This will be my 8th time running the challenge. I am not running it for free this time. I'm charging a nominal fee of 47 euros. Because I want people to put some skin in the game. I want you to get results. I want you to do the work, because people sign up for all these freebies. I see it all the time. They sign up for the freebies, but they actually take no action. So this time around, the people who join the challenge, I want them to take action. I want them to turn up for the training every day. I want them to do the exercises. I want you to identify who your ideal client is. So this time round in my Ideal Client Challenge, I'm going to be requiring you to put some skin in the game. So if you haven't done the work around your ideal client, I highly, highly recommend that this is something that you should do. For anyone who is in here already this morning and you have done the ideal client challenge with me, I'd love if you'd pop a comment in there and give some feedback on how it changed things for you. Did it make your marketing easier? Did it make your messaging on social media easier? Did it make creating a lead magnet or a freebie easier? It makes everything easier when you know who you're targeting. I know there's a huge amount of fear around niching down, but the reality is none of these systems will work if you don't know who you're targeting. So let's go through the 5 systems that I talked about again here this morning. So I talked about the email system. How are you going to bring people onto your emailing system? How are you going to address the problems that your clients have if you don't know who they are? A system to take payment, a client booking system, so that's booking clients in, a lead generation system. That's when, ideal client comes into its own. That's when you absolutely need to know what problem your ideal client is, what are they concerned about, what are they willing to pay for, and to know what they're willing to pay for, you have to know what is their problem. So, offering them the same old color and style and makeup, you will get the odd client here and there. But if you want to become an expert in your area, if you want to become the go-to person in a particular niche around image consulting, if you want to be perceived as an expert, you need to be very, very clear on who you're helping and how you're helping them. And you can then command more fees. You can charge more for what you're offering. But if you're offering the same old thing as image consultant Mary down the road, I see personal stylists offering color for $35, $30 dollars for a session. You are never, ever, ever going to have a 6-figure business unless you niche down, unless you get really clear on the problem that you're solving for your ideal client. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste in here, if I can. I think I can paste in here. Let me see. I've never done this before, actually. So I'm wondering, can I paste something in here? And post comment on Facebook groups, learn more. Oh, maybe I can't. I've never tried this before. I want to paste the link in here so you guys can get the download. I might have to do it afterwards. I'm not actually sure how to do it in here. I thought it was just as simple as coming into the chat and just pasting it, but it doesn't look like it. It really doesn't from here. So yeah, there's no place for me to actually do a paste in here, put a comment in here. So what I will do is I'll put it in afterwards. So basically, you will get a download of this handout here. It's a little freebie with all of the points that I talked about this morning, and it's basically a checklist. And once you download that, you will be taken to the Ideal Client Challenge page. And I've basically created an Ideal Client Challenge Get Selling Pack. So you get some freebies in there as well when you join the challenge. But the idea is, I'm not really interested in people who don't see the value in doing this kind of work. You're going to be spending time, you're going to be spending effort. You really want to put some skin in the game rather than just downloading another freebie or signing up for another freebie and doing nothing. So I'm not seeing any questions, guys. Does anyone have any questions for me this morning? I do see a few questions in the group, but hang on a second. No, I don't see any questions. Does anyone have any questions for me this morning? Actually, I'm going to go in here and comment in here and see, can I put the link in the actual Facebook group? 1 second, maybe that'll work exactly. Fantastic. I've just put the link for your download into the group. So you can actually go in there and download the checklist and all the points so that you don't have to remember them all. What I would suggest you do is you download the freebie, go through it, examine your own systems, and check to see, do you have all these systems in place? Um, Sharon said it just came through there. Fantastic. Hey, Sharon, how are you doing? How is the weather in Ireland? Who else is live here this morning? So I'm going to stay on for a minute or two to give you a chance to ask any questions. Does anyone have any questions for me? Does anyone yeah, I know several of you in here this morning have done my Ideal Client Challenge before. Give me a thumbs up if it was a really positive experience for you, if you used it in your business. Let me know. Oh, Breda's saying, I have an option to subscribe to my newsletter on my website. If I get new addresses via a lead magnet, can I then include these people on my newsletter mailing list, even if they haven't signed up for the newsletter? So what I would do there, Breda, is when they are signing up for your lead magnet, I would have a condition in there that says, when you're signing up for my lead magnet, you're basically signing up to receive my newsletters, events, updates, and any information I have as well. So you build it in up front, because that's basically what they're signing up for. You're giving them a freebie in exchange for their email. Judith says, I've done the ideal client work and it is really so helpful. I really understand who my ideal client is and how to connect with them. So very important, Judith. Absolutely important, because there is so much going on in the internet now, guys. There is so much out there that people are bombarded with information. So unless you connect with them at a level where they really feel like you're helping them, they're not going to engage back. They're not going to spend their hard-earned money with you. Ilham is saying, I've done your Ideal Client Challenge and it was very helpful. I just need to further niche down. So why, Ilham, do you feel that you have to further niche down? Is it that you're still not reaching clients? Is it that you feel it's still too broad? The problem with being too broad as well is that we're focusing on several different areas. So if you're focusing on men and you're focusing on women and you're focusing on corporations, your attention is so divided. You have to market to all those three groups of people. You have to provide, handouts and information and lives and everything for all those different groups of materials. And if you are those different groups of people, and if you're a one-man show, it's near impossible to do that. And you don't deliver on the depth of information that will truly help one of those groups. And it confuses people. One day you're talking about men, one day you're talking about corporations, one day you're talking about women. It's really, really, really confusing. So when you focus in, first of all, life gets way easier for you. Also, the clarity of your message. I mean, how many times did you have to see me before you kind of really figured out what I was about? The average is probably 5 or 6 times. So people have to tune into you 5 or 6 times before they actually understand what it is that you're doing. Now, if you're changing your message every time, or if you're talking to a different group of people every time, it's going to be really confusing for people, and they'll tune out and probably not tune in again. So you really only get a chance to get people on board once, and then you keep driving home the same message over and over and over again. So Ilham says, I don't know if I should provide business owners or employees. So a simple question, Ilham, is which do you prefer? Which do you most relate to? do you most relate to business owners, or do you most relate to employees? So knowing what's going on in the mind of your ideal client is really important. So, like, I often hear personal stylists tell me, that their ideal client is a corporate person, but they never worked in a corporation themselves, or they never worked in that particular area of a corporation before. Then it's really kind of hard to understand how you can help this corporate woman unless you've been there before yourself. So I think it's really, really, really important to understand what what are the objections, what are the problems, what are the roadblocks. How is this woman justifying to herself why she's buying your product? Because we all justify why we buy things to ourselves. So, for instance, this morning I went to the local fair, and I bought myself these two necklaces. And I realized afterwards I was justifying to myself why I bought them. So I was here to myself, I bought them, well, I've had a really hard week of work, it's been a good month, I totally deserve this. So how does your ideal client justify her buys to herself? Knowing this kind of information is really, really important. So maybe if it's a corporate woman, she will justify the buy from you because she feels like this is an investment into my career. This will get me the promotion that I want. This will help me to get through the speech that I want to make, and it's well worth the investment. You need to know that level of detail about your ideal client. But I'm not going to go on any further about it this morning. I am going to be talking about it for the next while because I am promoting it right now. I'm seriously considering as well that this may be my last ideal client challenge that I'm doing like this. So if you have been thinking about doing it and wondering, oh, maybe putting it in the long finger, this time around may be the time to do it. Haven't 100% decided that yet, but I'm thinking about that. So Annette is saying, love doing the ideal client challenge. I now focus on what my ideal client needs and find it much easier to connect. Absolutely necessary. Yeah, I mean, people are spending thousands on websites, on branding, on fancy things. Guys, this is going to be the best 47 euros you ever spent because it will make everything easier for you. And if you're not even willing to spend 47 on knowing who your ideal client is, then I worry about you having a six-figure business, to be honest. Not to put pressure on you, but it was the turning point for me in my business. And it is my thing. I feel very, very passionate about this because I think it's the single thing that you can do in your business that everything else depends on it. Every single else thing that you do in your business depends on understanding who your ideal client is. And most personal stylists never figure it out. They continue to talk about color and style and shape and all the rest of it and promoting themselves to everyone, but they haven't done this work around ideal client. So download the freebie that I've given you this morning as a checklist that you can put beside your computer. And if you feel that the ideal client challenge is the absolute next thing you need to do in your business, or you need to do again, you will be taken through to the page. So that's all for me this morning. I think I went a bit longer than I usually did. I kind of tend to get a bit passionate when I start getting into the whole ideal client thing. If you have any questions, if you're watching this on replay, #replay, if you have any questions for me, please just pop them underneath this post and I will get to them either later today or tomorrow. So that's all for me. I'm now going to change out of my jacket. I'm going to put on some trackies and I'm going to get out for a huge walk in the forest. I hope you have a brilliant, brilliant weekend, and I hope that you felt supported by being in this group. And that's all for me. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.